Hey, what's up? I'm Darkbblue, trying to help everyone enjoy games in depth. Now let's continue our Elden Ring walkthrough guide. In this video, we'll cover the entire running questline and shift our mechanic focus onto the second combat style, interactive combat. After defeating Radon, a meteor will fall from the sky to the south of the Mist Woods. From the hole, you can descend to Eternal City Nogrom. In this area, you can find a Spirit Ash for Great Shield soldiers. This is a very useful ash when you want to bait the enemy's aggro away from you. Then, you will reach a fork, after which the boss is a Mimic tier. It'll copy your gears, so you can simply unequip all your weapons before going in, so that the boss won't be able to do any serious attack. After the fight, you will reach an open underground wilderness. To its southwest, there's an opening leading to the city. Inside the city, you can find a seal requiring Stone Sword Key. Behind it is the Spirit Ash for Mimic tier, which is one of the best Spirit Ashes in this game. Remember to upgrade it later when you get back to the Roundtable Hold. By the way, we just looted a Wet Blade for Occult and Blood Fanatics. They are not actually meaningful for our strength and faith character, but can be important if you are to play an Arcane character in the future. You can find a Great Ball in the building. It's recommended you defeat it with ranged attacks from a safe position. Then you will encounter two Nox enemies. They are highly likely to dodge, during which they gain temporary hyper armor, plus their pre-attack animation is very short. Considering all these characteristics, you can use fast and long-range attacks such as the sword down skill. Leaving the building into the street, you can find many Mimic tiers. Some of them will transform into stronger forms, but you can defeat them from afar to prevent them from doing so. Eventually, you will obtain the key item, which should be handed to Rani back in the Rise.
My strange, I am sir. I must thank you.
Back to the wilderness. Let's head north to the aqueduct. Equip Giant Hound before leaving the Grace. Down below you will find a Crucible Knight with sword and shield. Much similar to Tree Sentinels, Crucible Knights can be staggered by damage levels that can blow normal enemies away. Therefore, Giant Hound is a very good strategy, as you can easily stagger them with it. Alternatively, as this sword and shield variant tends to guard with its shield, you can also use Lion's Claw, which is much stronger at breaking shield guard. But this may require you to use a Great Hammer or equip the Great Hammer Talisman. If you don't have them and thus cannot break the guard with a single Lion's Claw, it would still be better to use Giant Hound instead. This Crucible Knight won't respawn after resting at the Grace. Afterward, you will meet another Crucible Knight, this time with a Tree Spear. Since he won't shield guard, the best choice is Giant Hound. You can also notice that since you are at a low stance when using Giant Hound, certain attacks from this enemy will only hit the air above your head but not you, so you can start your attack in advance. This is yet another unique advantage of Giant Hound. By the way, the so-called Crucible is a special term in Elden Ring referring to the Crucible of Life, not any normal Crucible. And the Crucible is the former form of the Earth Tree. Therefore, Crucible Knights deal and are resistant to holy damage, not fire damage. After exploring the aqueduct, go back to Roundtable Hall to upgrade your Mimic Teeth Ash. You may want to look up the wiki to find some high-tier upgrading materials. The incoming boss fight is the Dew Gargoyles. I shall take this chance to introduce to you the interactive combat. Previously, I have shown you the basic concept of interactive combat in the Godric fight. Basically, you need to memorize the enemy's movesets and actually conduct evading and counterattacking in the fight. But the interactive combat in Elden Ring is much beyond that. This time, let's have a look at some gears that can improve your interaction ability. For example, a skill called Quick Step. Basically, it slightly increases the iframe window and traveling distance over the regular dodge rolling. This is very suitable for the Gargoyle fight, as Gargoyles have relatively easy to read telegraphs. Hence, with Quick Step, it's likely that you don't need to really memorize the entire moveset, but can do the fight based on your instinct. Then, to further make this fight easier, you can pay attention to what weapon the Gargoyle is using. They have 4 weapon variants in total. When using a sword or an axe, you simply dodge forward. When using a halberd or a twin blade, there are special attacks that have many takes and last very long, which require you to dodge backward instead. If you can tell these special attacks from the telegraph, that's fine. If not, you can simply dodge backward for any incoming attack and then use sprinting jump attack as a counterattack. Additionally, the 2 Gargoyles do not join the fight simultaneously. Use this chance to create solo situations. After the fight, you can find a coffin in the arena near the waterfall. Interact with it to enter deep root depths. Then keep going forward until you reach the nameless eternal city. Near the Grace, you can find a broken Gargoyle which drops a lot of runes, making it a good early game rune farming spot. You can even mark this Grace following the key binding hints at the bottom of the map menu. In this area, there's a Crucible Knight boss, who drops a tree spear, which is a good weapon for our strength and faith character. Around here, there are many upgrading materials. You can refer to the wiki for detailed locations. Personally, my habit is to start from the Crucible Knight arena to loot the tree area. Then move to the northeast direction. Then to the tableland near the grace. Finally, go up the trees from the rune farming cargo. You can notice something on the rooftop here. You will loot a smithing stone 7, which is highly recommended. Eventually, you will reach a boss arena. Inside, there's an NPC fight, a good chance to get many runes. Before the fight, you can loot some slumbering smithing stones in the dragon barrel. Teleport to the entrance grace. One slumbering 8 is on the slope, dropped by a scrap. Then, one slumbering 9 is under the Divine Tower. In a short time period from now on, your slumbering weapon will be at a much higher upgrading level than your regular weapon, so it's better to use the slumbering weapon for now. After looting the deep root depths, it's time to go to Incel River. Find a coffin near the grace and interact with it. Near the entrance, you can find a running door. Talk to her when resting at the grace to progress the quest line.
visit me. Fine. I hadn't expected. Now the perform eliminate the name of I won. Perform eliminate the name of I won.
Move on until you reach Eternal City Noxtala. The main road is on the ground. You can use Assassin's Gambit to sneak through. There's also a detour route by going up the stairs near the grace. In the end, you can get a legendary talisman and a golden seed. Continue along the main road and defeat the shadow.
2 fingers, that Rani the witch cometh, to rend thy flesh with a fateful wound, ne'er to heal. Beautifully fought. My thanks. 'Twas more of a challenge than I envisioned. Now I can finally stand before them. This is farewell, my dear. Tell Blythe and eat.
Then you will reach Lake of Rot. To safely traverse this lake, you can go to Leonia to loot an incantation called Flame Cleanse Me that can cure the rot status effect. If you are playing a non-faith character, an alternative choice is to buy some curing items from a merchant on the western shore of the Kalit Swamp. On the left shore of the Grace, you can find a Sombering 8. Then by activating all the platforms, you can loot a Sombering 9. This allows you to upgrade another Sombering weapon to +9. Continue until you reach Grand Cloister. The following boss is S tier. Let's first upgrade our weapons. First of all, there are a Smithing Stone 6 and a Stone 7 in the corner of Grand Cloister. Then, the full green Fallen Star Beast will drop 5 Smithing Stone 6. This is enough to bring your Greatsword to plus 18. Let's recall the strategy against the Falling Star Beast, Raptor of the Mists. Similar to Quickstep we have just used for the Gargoyles, Raptor of the Mists can be seen as an enhanced version of the basic dodge rolling, but their enhancements are different. Raptor of the Mist effect is like this. After using the skill in a relatively long window, when you get hit, you will automatically jump and enter a long iframe window. Overall, this skill provides a very long iframe window. However, its using frequency is less than the basic dodge rolling, so some high frequent attacks that can be dodged with the basic dodge rolling cannot be dodged with this skill. This is what you need to keep in mind when using Raptor of the Mist. As a result, this skill is suitable for two different cases. First, the damaging window of an attack is very long at the first place, unable to be covered by the basic rolling. And second, although the damaging window is not very long, it's hard to correctly time your dodge. In this case, the long iframe window of the skill will make timing much easier. For example, the Falling Star Beasts have some charging attacks, Stone Spike attacks, and so on, that are hard to time. So we are using this skill for this fight because of the second case. Next, let's grab some Smithing Stone 7. Remember you have obtained one on the rooftop in Darkbblue Depths and one in Grand Cloister? Next, teleport to Caelid. To the east of the central swamp, there's a town called Celia. Progress the quest by talking to Galway in his shack south of the town. This opens the way that leads you uphill to the church, where you can start the Millicent questline. Move along the way uphill until you use a Spirit Spring to jump onto a tableland, where you can loot 2 Smithing Stone 7 and 1 Smithing Stone 8. In addition to this, the final boss in Celia Crystal Tunnel will drop 5 Smithing Stone 7. This is enough to bring your greatsword to plus 20. By the way, you can loot a talisman that increases the incantation attack power in the tunnel, which can be useful in the future when we want incantations to deal higher damage. Taking this chance, let's progress the Millicent questline a bit. After the initial interaction, she will go to the Go-With Shack. Then she will be at the Erdtree Gazing Hill Grace. You need to go to the Shady Castle to find a prosthesis and hand it to her. Finally, Millicent will be at the Windmill Village where you fought the Godskin boss. Okay, that's all for now. With the weapon fully upgraded, it's time to go fight Azteel, again using Raptor of the Mist. This time, it's still because of the second reason. For example, when Azteel uses the charged laser, it's really hard to time your dodge correctly, and Raptor of the Mist will make it much easier. This again demonstrates how enhanced interactive tools can reduce the difficulty over the basic dodge rolling. So, the interactive combat in Elden Ring is certainly beyond simply memorizing everything. In addition, here are 2 more attacks that need some special attention. First, after half HP, Azteel will summon a rain of meteor after teleporting. You can simply keep running sideways in front of it to stay safe. And second, when Azteel teleports away, there's a chance that it'll appear behind you and try to grab you. To evade it, remember to look up in the sky to see if it's behind you. After the fight, go to the Full Moon Queen Arena and open the chest. With the ring, you can go through the seal in the Estill Arena to enter Moonlight Altar. Just go towards the Great Church and defeat the Moonlight Dragon. Go down the hole to complete the running quest line. By the way, this is my attributes after the Moonlight Dragon fight. Though there are many other rules here. First of all, make sure you have equipped an incantation called Heal. Go eastward where you can find 2 runes. In each of them there's a Royal Revenant, which can be severely damaged by healing incantations. In the eastern rune, you can find 3 smithing stone 8 in a basement hidden behind a phantom floor. Then in the western side of the altar, you can find a red wolf guarding 3 gallops. Simply use Assassin's Gambit to sneak through and loot 6 Smithing Stone 7 and 3 Smithing Stone 8 in total. This is enough to bring your greatsword to plus 23. Finally, there is an evergo here where you can fight a Black Knife Assassin. The recommended strategy is to bait her combos until she uses a combo finisher, after which you can start a Giant Hound Stunlock combo. So far, we have completed the running questline and preliminarily learned interactive combat with 2 examples, Quick Step and Rector of the Mist. It's important to note that the interactive combat in Elden Ring is beyond simply memorizing everything. In the next video, we'll explore the Royal Capital and learn much more about interactive combat. If you want to play games into depth together with me, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you around.